Distinguished Toastmasters, fellow members, honored guests, and friends, good evening. My name is Toastmaster Mbithe. It is my pleasure to serve as your presiding officer and sergeant at arms this beautiful evening. I hope you're all doing fine. On behalf of the Executive Committee, I warmly welcome you to Zumaridi Club Toastmasters meeting 127. And what a coincidence. Today's date is 27, the month of our Lord, July 2026. Whether you are a seasoned Toastmaster or visiting member from another club or joining us for the very first time, we are delighted that you chose to spend this evening with us. Our tonight's theme, the first step. Every remarkable journey has an outset. Every confident speaker once delivered an icebreaker. Every great leader once accepted their very first leadership role. Every success story begins with the courage to take that first step. Before we begin, can you let us maintain a professional and engaging meeting by observing a few housekeeping guidelines? Please keep your microphone muted unless you've been called upon to speak. Keep your camera on where possible to enhance interaction. We also want to see those beautiful smiles. Ensure your Zoom name follows the meeting convention. For all takers, #roll _name _club. For visiting Toastmasters, #VT _name _club. For guests, #guests _name. Role players are requested to remain attentive throughout the meeting. Most importantly, relax, participate actively, encourage every speaker, and enjoy the evening. A brief history about Zumaridi Toastmasters Club. Zumaridi Toastmasters Club was chartered in November 2020 during one of the most challenging periods in our recent history, a global pandemic. While the world was physically apart, a group of visionary leaders, including our TMOD this evening, our Charter President Mbithe, came together with one purpose: to build a confident communicators and transformational leaders. The name Zumaridi is the Swahili word for emerald, a precious gemstone admired for its beauty, resilience, rarity, and enduring value. Like an emerald, every member who joins this club embarks on a journey of refinement. Continuously polishing communication skills, strengthening leadership abilities, and discovering their full potential. Although founded as a corporate club within Kenya Revenue Authority, Zumaridi proudly welcomes members from every profession and walk of life. When do we meet? We meet on the 2nd and 4th Monday of every month, creating an environment where growth is intentional and excellence is expected. So what is Toastmasters? For the benefit of our prospective members or people not well much conversed with what Toastmasters is. Toastmasters International is a global educational organization dedicated to helping people become better communicators and better leaders. Toastmasters is more than giving speeches. It is a place where confidence replaces fear, feedback fuels growth, leadership is practiced, and every meeting becomes another opportunity to become a better version of yourself. Your mistakes are not failures, they are stepping stones. Every speech is progress, every evaluation is growth, every meeting is a step forward to excellence. Tonight's theme is the first step. Every achievement is an outset. Every marathon begins with a single stride. Every business starts with one idea. Every friendship starts with one conversation. Every Toastmaster begins with one courageous decision to attend that very first meeting. Often, the hardest part isn't the journey itself. It is taking the very first step. So tonight, I encourage each and every one of you to reflect on the next first step that you need to take in your own personal, professional, and leadership journey. As we explore tonight's theme, I encourage everyone to naturally incorporate a word of the day outset into your speeches, evaluation reports, and conversations. Let's see how many creative ways we can use it throughout this evening. I'll now want to adopt the previous minutes. May I confirm whether the minutes of the previous meeting were circulated to members? Any Zumaridi member in the house, kindly confirm that the minutes were shared. Nancy Etienne, GPPR. There's no Zumaridi member in the house to confirm that the minutes were shared.
Yes, the minutes were shared. I can confirm.
Thank you, iPad, for that. Thank you for coming to my rescue. May I have a proposal for the adoption of the minutes?
I can propose.
Thank you again for that. But on this other part, you will not have, I'll need another. May I have a seconder? Toastmaster Mbithe, Toastmaster Nancy, Toastmaster Beryl. I see Favor Wanja seconded. Thank you for that. The minutes are hereby adopted. To every successful Toastmaster meeting as someone who carefully waves every segment together. Every successful Toastmaster meeting as someone who carefully waves every segment together, energizes the audience, and ensures every participant has the opportunity to learn and shine. Tonight, the responsibility lies in capable hands of someone who knows this club better than most. Our Toastmaster of the day is none other than our charter president, a leader whose vision and dedication were instrumental in laying foundation upon which the Zumaridi Toastmaster Club continues to thrive today. Our passion for communication, servant leadership, and member development has inspired many within the club. And it is a privilege to welcome her back to guide us through this evening's journey. Ladies and gentlemen, as we embark on tonight's theme, the first step, it is only fitting that someone who helped us take our very first steps as a club now leads us through meeting 127. Please join me in a warm Zumaridi welcome to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mbithe Munguti. Let me see those round of applauses, those emojis. Toastmaster Mbithe, the stage is
Thank
all
you.
yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dima, our presiding officer. It is my absolute pleasure and privilege to be the TMOD today, the Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, including our very soon to be installed members and distinguished guests. As Toastmaster of the day, I will guide you through today's meeting. And this is a particularly special gathering. And that's why I think they chose me as a Toastmaster today, because today we not only celebrate another Toastmasters meeting, but we are also installing new members into the Toastmasters family and into the Zumaridi family. Our theme for today is the first step. And I'm sure all of you are finding that this theme is an apt theme for today. As the presiding officer said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that first step is always the hardest.
Toastmaster Mbithe, we've lost you. I think we've lost
My apologies, presiding officer, can you hear me?
Can now hear you clearly. Please proceed.
Okay, progress. Sorry, I need to get a backup device because clearly my network has a problem. Okay. Where was I? Presiding officer, where did I leave off?
You're just introducing the theme.
Okay. So today our new members are taking that courageous first step. And the first step is always filled with excitement, curiosity, and perhaps a little uncertainty. And even today, as I was taking my first step back into Toastmasters, I have the same feeling of excitement, curiosity, and a little bit of uncertainty. In fact, I just talked to Rose. I chatted with her a little bit earlier, and I was telling her I have butterflies. I've done this so many times, but somehow the first time is always a little bit difficult, and you always have those butterflies in your stomach. But when you step into it, somehow those butterflies fly away and you're comfortable. So Toastmasters is much more than learning to speak before an audience. It is a journey of discovering confidence, of developing leadership, and building meaningful friendships and relationships, and becoming the best version of ourselves. So maybe much later, I will talk to you about developing meaningful friendships and relationships, because that is a huge part of Toastmasters, besides public speaking and leadership. So to our new members, today marks the beginning of that journey. You are joining a community that believes growth happens one speech opportunity at a time. Here, you will never walk alone. Every member beside you stood where you stand today, and together we will celebrate every milestone along your path. And on your path, there will be people who will hold your hand, and there will be people who will guide you. You will have mentors, you will have coaches, and you will have people to give you positive and life-changing feedback. So as Toastmaster of today, it is my responsibility to guide this meeting. And a usual Toastmasters meeting is divided into 3 sections. The first section is the prepared speech. The second session is usually table topics, but today, instead of table topics, we will have a tip session from our seasoned Toastmaster. And then the last session will be the evaluation session. So with me, to help guide in this meeting, I have an able team consisting of role takers, and our first role taker is none other than Mokeira Onyango. Mokeira Onyango is the counter. I will allow Mr. Mokeira Onyango to tell us a little bit about his role. Mr. Onyango?
Thank you, Madam TMOD. My name is Mokeira Onyego, not Onyango.
Sorry.
It's okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During today's meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, you know. Equally, I will also listen for filler sounds, including a, a. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I, or this means, this means. By the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each and every speaker used these expressions. Thank you, Madam TMOD.
Thank you, Ms. Mokeira, and apologies for misrepresenting you. And
Okay.
I get that so much because my name somehow, people do not know whether I am female or male, so they end up calling me Mr. Munguti, and I should have known better. I am so sorry.
Fine. No, it's fine.
All
it's
right.
fine.
Thank you, Sana. Our next role taker is the timer. The timer is Brian Kamugish. Brian, kindly unmute and tell us a little bit about your role.
Greetings to TMOD, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Brian Kamugisha. And as a timer, I will time the table topics, speakers, formal speeches, and evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red cards, which dominate the specific times remaining. And table topics speakers should limit their remarks no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise a green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Those giving speech should limit their remarks to their specific speech times. Icebreaker speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the red card. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the green card, the yellow card, beg your pardon. At 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Thank you, Madam Mbithe.
Thank you, Brian. Our next role taker is the grammarian. Our grammarian today is Eugene Wanjohi. Eugene, kindly unmute yourself and tell us about your role.
Good evening, Toastmaster.
Eugene.
My role today as the grammarian will be to check on good use of the English language, either by use of good figures of speech or phrases or new or other sophisticated words. Also, I will check out for the word of the day, which is in line with the theme. The word of the day is outset. Outset, meaning it means the beginning. Synonyms of words: start, beginning, commencement, inception, onset, and so on. An example in a sentence. Right from the outset of tonight's Toastmasters meeting, our presiding officer set an energetic and welcoming tone for everyone in the room. I will give a report at the end of the meeting. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Eugene. The word of the day is outset. So I will set a target. I hope everybody who speaks today will be able to use the word of the day at least 3 times in your speech. I will forgive the presiding officer. I will allow him to maybe do 2 times when he's concluding today. Okay, to begin our speaking slots today, we have none other than Miss Rose Odundo. Miss Rose Odundo is being evaluated by Anne Nakimera. I hope I got the pronunciation correct. DTM Anne Nakimera.
Thank
Kindly,
you very
Anne, tell us the objective and the title of Rose's speech.
Thank you very much, Madam TMOD. I have the opportunity today to evaluate Rose's first speech, first DTM speech. And the title of her speech is My Haven, a Vision of Hope, Healing, and Wholeness. What is the purpose of this project? The purpose of the DTM project is for Rose to demonstrate her skills as a leader and a public speaker. What is the purpose of this speech and what I'll be looking out for? Rose is going to introduce to us her plan and vision for the project she's going to do to be able to get her Distinguished Toastmaster Award. Toastmasters and guests, this is worth a celebration because this is the onset just before the huge award that awaits Rose, outset before that awaits Rose. Rose Odundo, My Haven, a Vision of Hope, Healing, and Wholeness. My Haven, oh, I forgot to say for the timer, this project is 5 to 7 minutes long. Let me introduce her again. Rose Odundo, My Haven, a Vision of Hope, Healing, and Wholeness. My Haven, a Vision of Hope, Healing, and Wholeness. Rose Odundo. Rose, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. Rose, you are still muted.
Okay, sorry for that. My machine went off. Have you ever spoken to somebody and asked them how they're doing? And with a smile, they tell you, I'm fine. And you later come to discover that they were struggling with something. By emoji hands, can I see how many of us have known anyone who is battling with an issue related to stress or depression, anxiety, or addiction? By an emoji. Do we have anybody who knows anybody? It could be a relative, it could be a friend. I'm not seeing the emoji hands. Oh, thank you very much. I can see them. Thank you, Anne. I can see. Thank you, Kamugisha. Okay. I have known people very close to me who have had issues. And this is the genesis of My Haven. My Haven was created by my daughter and myself in trying to answer that question. How is it that people can go through such difficulty and be silent about it? And we felt that we could not find a place for holistic healing for the person. We came up with the idea of putting together My Haven as an organization that brings professionals together under one umbrella. And they are able to provide the support required for individuals in need. It is anchored on 3 pillars. One pillar is psychosocial, relating to trauma, in which case we look upon therapists. On the other hand, we have the physical side of the human being. And for that, we look for the medical practitioners. all the the ones who deal with nutrition and alternative medicine. And thirdly, we look at the spiritual. And for that, we also work with the clergy. Together, we agreed that we are going to start on this journey. What did we do on the onset? We came up with a vision. And in this vision, I'm trying to move my slide. I hope you're seeing it. Okay. So in this vision, it's a vision of hope, healing, and wholeness. Are you seeing my slide? Sorry to interrupt. All right. So this is a vision where communities and individuals are brought together and they experience wholeness through holistic support and collaboration. And we also aimed at increasing awareness of mental wellness. And we had this divided into three. One is in the interim, one is medium term, and one is long term. So we would like awareness to be heightened. And we would also love that stigma is removed in relation to mental unwellness. In the midterm, we would love that individuals and families would get together with the professionals and get the support that they require. And we also would like that we have partnerships that are formed, that are sustainable between the professionals, the communities, and those who require help. And the third thing would be in the long term that we would look at this pilot as an initiative and we would develop it as a model which can be replicated in the other counties. This is a project which is a 6-month project which we are launching, and we are launching it from this week, Friday. It will be a 2-day summit where all of us are invited to attend. And we will bring professionals, faith communities, partners to establish this sustainable, collaborative platform. Now, in this platform, you might ask, why? I have explained the conversation we had with my daughter. And as we looked at it, we wondered, where do we start? And on the onset, we began in Nakuru. Why Nakuru? Nakuru because that is where we have a blend of urban and rural folk. And also it is a place where the communities are already together and we have a few partnerships. We looked at this in collaboration with the mental health practitioners, the counselors, psychologists, educators, and we brought them all on board with a vision to extend this beyond Nakuru. So as it is, we are working together with Nairobi, and we are working with some people from Kajiado who will also be in attendance. As I mentioned, this will be a 6-month project, which we had started. I'll go in a little detail. It will be a multidisciplinary collaboration, and my role in leadership was to actually be acting more like a project coordinator. I helped with the vision and the planning and putting people together. And I must say, today, I added one more professional from Nakuru who is a Toastmaster. I am grateful for that. We will also look at, I also contributed in terms of getting the stakeholders together. I led the meetings, and together we are moving in that direction. I also communicated the vision. I will facilitate some of the sessions that will take place. The results we expect is reduced stigma, stronger partnerships, and that holistic support Immediately, we will evaluate and we will look at testimonials and the feedback that we will get from the partners. That will be in the 2 weeks after the event. And moving forward, we will go into 3 months of assessing how we are progressing before we hand this over to the team to replicate it beyond us. We started in February with a vision, went to March and May with the planning, recruiting of the professionals. We then, in June and July, finalized with the program. The launch will be this Friday and Saturday at Agora in Nakuru, and eventually we will hand over the project. Leadership begins when one person chooses to care, but communities are transformed when we choose to care together. Together, I invite you to build. Let us build my haven. Thank you. And back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Rose, and we wish you the very best in this project, this 6 months project. It's an amazing, amazing idea, and we hope that you will incorporate us as you go along into your journey. And we thank you for allowing us to be present at the onset of your Distinguished Toastmasters journey. Our second speaker is by Biyad Ayub. Biyad Ayub is being evaluated by Davis Anund. Davis, kindly tell us the objective and the title of Biyad Ayub's speech.
Thank you, Madam TMOD. Her name is Biyub Ayub. Right. Biyub Ayub today is doing a presentation mastery project, level 1, project 2, which is titled Writing a Speech with a Purpose. Our project is supposed to be within 5 to 7 minutes. Biyub, who is Biyub? Biyub works as a revenue officer at KRA. Biyub is a sanguine by nature. Her favorite color is blue, and her favorite meal is pilau. For those who want to take her out for dinner, now you know. So the purpose of our speech today is to motivate and persuade fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests to overcome procrastination and perfectionism by embracing immediate action. What will I be looking for in a speech? I'll be looking out for a well-organized speech and also a speech with a purpose, which in this case is to motivate. Let's all welcome Biyub Ayub. Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Biyub Ayub.
Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. How many of you here have been waiting for that perfect moment to outset something? My fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, most of the time, we think that planning more or taking more time to plan will avoid failure. But today, I am here to tell you that this obsession with perfection is one single greatest threat to our success. In today's world, the focus is done better than perfection. Because when we are perfect, I'm going to tell you a little story about Kodak. It produced the most popular camera models in 20th century. In 1975, Steve Sampson invented the first digital camera, but its leaders told Steve to keep quiet to avoid cannibalizing its sales. But why? They were waiting for that perfect time to transition. Its competitors, like Canon, outplaced Kodak due to its late shift to digital. And as a result of that, Kodak faced steep financial difficulty due to its decline of its sales. And later in the year 2012, it became bankrupt. How do you ensure done is better than perfect? Number one, define ugly. When you're launching your project, my fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, first accept that the first process will be ugly. Number two, set timer. Don't take 1 week or 2 weeks or a whole year to plan. You can give yourself 2 hours or 1 hour to plan. And once the timer goes off, stop planning and upset. Number three, embrace fail fast mentality. When you launch a project and along the way it fails, you don't go back to the beginning. You don't go back to the beginning to plan endlessly. You just learn from the failures and adjust. In conclusion, my fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, how many of you, when you look at your life, what is that one thing you have been waiting to outset? Is it that fitness routine? Is it that diet plan? Is it that business? Is it that project? In today's meeting, give yourself permission to outset that ugly version of your goal. And you give yourself perhaps next week and see how far it goes. Most people, you'll see you achieve much more than most people take in a year. It is time to stop dreaming. It is time to stop time for amazing outset. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Biyub. You've heard from the horse's mouth. It is time to stop over-planning. And I agree very much. Sometimes you can over-plan and end up not undertaking the project. And like I said at the onset, Toastmasters gives you an opportunity to build friendships. You have had Miss Biyub is a sanguine, and also what else? Her favorite color is brown. That's what the evaluator said. So this is an opportunity for you to build a friendship with Miss Biyub. If you know, you know. Okay, our third speaker of the day is Miss Jessica Mbithe, and she is being evaluated by none other than Shekila. Shekila, kindly tell us the objective and the title of Jessica's speech. Shekila? Is Shekila in?
Hello?
Is the speaker? Oh, perfect. All right. Go ahead.
Hello?
Please introduce your speaker.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, Shekila, we can hear you.
Okay.
Kindly introduce
Thank you so
your...
much for this. Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Today I will be evaluating Toastmaster Jessica. She will be attempting her level 3 project 2 in her communication pathway. Her title of her speech is Why Spreadsheets Don't Speak. She is an ambivert and she is pursuing the pathway of communication. She loves traveling and thus she is here within our Toastmasters community today. Toastmaster Jessica, Why Spreadsheets Don't Speak? Why Spreadsheets Don't Speak? Toastmaster Jessica.
Fellow Toastmasters, when I was tasked to prepare a communication plan as the admin and finance manager, I thought to myself, finally, a chance to prove that spreadsheets can speak. After a few days of trying to prepare the plan, I discovered that spreadsheets don't speak. They scream in silence. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'd like you to join me as I take you through the steps that I took in coming up with a communication plan. I'll also share the various challenges that I experienced along the way. The first step was coming up with objectives. Easy, right? Wrong. Coming up with objectives is like coming up with a New Year's resolution. It appears so real in January, but forgotten in February. And as Einstein once said, if you can't explain it simply, then you don't understand it. I tried explaining to the team why effective communication matters. And it reminded me that my kids do it so well when they ask me, Mom, we need snacks right now. The next step was choosing the audience, my audience. I had both external and internal audiences. I discovered that coming up or convincing your audience is like being a tout. When a tout tries to convince his passengers to board his vehicle. This is how I did it. Area director, division director, fellow Toastmasters, please join this communication plan. I want to report that just like a tout, half of them pretended not to hear me. The third step that I took was coming up, sharing the key message. To me, sharing this key message felt like writing a love letter to the government. When you write a love letter to the government, no matter how sweet it is, the government can never fall in love with your love letter. I tried sharing this core message with various people, and I remembered Einstein words that says, people would love to learn, but people will never learn. The people never like to be taught. All the memos that I shared, no one read them, but they really, really wanted to learn. The fourth was coming up with a channel of communication. Ladies and gentlemen, I had various channels. There was WhatsApp, there was SMS, and there were emails. I settled on emails because I felt emails were more convenient. But in arriving at these emails, it felt to me like being in the Nairobi traffic jam. You choose one route, and within a minute, it is all jammed up. I will communicate to the team using emails, and that will be on WhatsApp asking, "Hi Jess, what's the status? How far are we? When are we getting back?" I will sit and think to myself, even Safaricom takes a rest sometimes. Finally, came the evaluation stage. In the evaluation stage, I thought to myself, this is it. Finally, a time for me to get an evaluation. And if you prepared a communication plan, you'll agree with me that there are three types of lies. We have lies, we have damn lies, and we have statistics. And you have to understand the three types of lies for you to be able to come up with a communication plan. The members combined all the three lies to evaluate me. I also had to apply the three types of lies to give my feedback or to ensure that this communication plan was indeed viable. Ladies and gentlemen, preparing a communication plan is like making ugali. And for those who don't understand what ugali is a Kenyan delicacy that is made using flour and water. You stir, you sweat, and you pray that this ugali does not form lumps. But at the end of it all, this communication plan fed the whole division. There is an author by the name of Jerry that stated that the greatest illusion is believing that communication has taken place. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you strive to ensure that communication has taken place instead of believing that it has taken place. Back to you, Toastmasters of the Day.
Oh, thank you very much, Jessica, for that very, very humorous speech. Indeed, the government cannot fall in love with you. However many love letters you write. Thank you. From the onset, you have taken us through a journey of the communication plan. And now we know just communicating doesn't mean that you have actually communicated. And that concludes our prepared speeches for the day. I hope the SAA is ready. We are about to vote for the better speaker of the day. Mr. Presiding Officer, I had you saying that you're the SAA. There we go. We have Madam Rose Odundo, we have Madam Ayub, and we have Madam Jessica Nkiti. Kindly vote for your better speaker of the day. We always say in Toastmasters, everyone has taken that first step to prepare a speech, and they have done exceptional for just taking up that challenge. So everybody is a good speaker, but like everything in life, there is one who is, in your opinion, the better speaker for the day. So we have a few seconds to vote for the better speaker of the day. Again, we have Rose Odundo, we have Biob Ayob, and we have Jessica Ngiti. Kindly and very quickly vote for your preferred or the person who you think, in your opinion, was the better speaker of the day. The first step of preparing for a speech is not easy. First of all, you have to decide which pathway you're going to take. And then when you decide the path, there are projects. And this is for especially the new members. You have to take up a project, and every project has a speech. You have to download the resources, you have to prepare for the speech, and then you have to take that step of standing in front of us and actually articulating your speech. Thank you very much, everyone, for everyone who has voted. And we will very quickly move on to the next session of our meeting, which is the tip session. The tip session is usually a session where we have one of our Toastmasters take us through an informative session to just tell us a little bit more about Toastmasters. And to take us through the tip session today, we have Blessed Avua. Blessed Avua. Miss Avua, please take up the floor.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Kindly confirm that you can see my screen.
We can see your screen, we can see you, and we are ready for this
Fantastic.
tip session.
Thank you very much. Now, I would like to find out from a few volunteers, just two, what did you hear about Toastmasters when you first heard of it? Kindly unmute and let me know.
Well, for me, Miss Tips Mistress, I heard that this is where you come to learn how to make toast, so that when you're called during a meeting or a wedding, then you can make the perfect and the most humorous and most remembered, memorable toast.
Interesting. Anyone else?
Good evening, Blessed. Growing up, there was a bread that was called Toasty, for those who remember. I thought Toastmasters was the biggest bread festival in the world. I was very wrong.
Interesting. Thank you so much for your submissions. Now, for me, when I heard about Toastmasters, I heard that it was about leadership and communication. And I got pulled in, hence my presence here. But one of the things that constantly came up as a slogan was this, where leaders are made. And I asked myself, where leaders are made? How are leaders made in Toastmasters? This is what I'm presenting to you. Meeting roles and responsibilities play a key role in making the leader that you are, the effective leader and communicator. Leading is about learning. You get into a place, a position, you learn what it's about. And from that point onwards, you begin to evolve. Who you were before is not who you will be in the process and after the process has taken place. You adapt and you deliver. But this is a rinse and repeat cycle. You keep on learning, evolving, adapting, and delivering. And as you do that, you become an effective leader with Toastmasters. Here are some of the roles, meeting roles that we participate in as Toastmasters. There is a Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Mbithe has shown us that becoming a Toastmaster of the day is about measuring the flow, the pacing, keeping the energy upbeat. And as you do that, you become more organized. You get to understand the intricacies of meeting management. You become flexible when role takers follow, and you develop skills of a leader. As a table topics master or mistress, you ensure that everyone is availed the opportunity to speak, but you do that in a way that is creative, and you hone the skill of emotional intelligence. Just a few of these bits, and you become a leader, the leader that Toastmaster envisions as an effective communicator and leader. Speaking and speech evaluations are roles, and we have seen speakers, and we are going to witness speech evaluations. But as you participate in these roles, you get to hone your persuasion skills, your storytelling. We learn things better when they come in the form of stories. And from some of the speeches you've had, I'm sure you will take something home simply because of the way it was presented. That is the way you become a more effective leader. As a speech evaluator, for me personally, I will say that emotional intelligence is the highest skill that you develop as an evaluator. Because while there are so many things to say, knowing what to say, when, and how is key when you are leading a team. We have the accounter and the grammarian. I must confess that this accounter is the least played role I have done in Toastmasters. However, ever since I joined Toastmasters, something unlocked within me, and I believe that was the accounter role, because every single place I go to, every presentation I listen, I am more aware of the pause fillers, and I would calculate and measure and say, now, in that part, I, the Toastmaster, would have taken a breath and continued. A grammarian who introduces the word of the day is cultivating the skill of observing, active listening. These two roles work hand in hand to make sure that, yes, the meeting goes well, but you also develop as a leader in Toastmasters. So do not take them for granted. The timer, the general evaluator, Toastmasters is very key when it comes to timekeeping. And I believe that I have become much better as a timekeeper simply because of Toastmasters. The skill of situational awareness is crucial in real life, but Toastmasters provides that environment where a timer will take charge of the meeting in order to see that everything is slotted within its rightful time. The general evaluator role hones that critical thinking as well, because right from the onset, you are required to observe what is going on up to the very end and deliver a succinct presentation concerning what you have observed, while doing it in a way that creates a supportive and conducive environment for learning and personal growth. Here are a few more additional roles, but I will not get into them. I just want to mention that as you are in this program that is Toastmasters, understand that leadership is not a position, it is an action. So while you may be looking and attending the meeting, you are a leader. Leadership is not about power, but responsibility. And the fact that you took time aside to join this meeting shows where your priorities are. So you do not have to be the Toastmaster of the day or the accountant to make an impact. Club officer roles are another brilliant way that the Toastmasters education program cultivates leadership. The president, for example, sets the tone and energy of the club. And this is why the president is required to be there at the start of every meeting and to conclude every single meeting. Critical thinking is developed, decision making. These are some crucial aspects of leadership that honestly, when you look around in your country, in your community, you can see clearly where decisions have fallen off the track in regards to the vision. So the president role really builds that decision-making, critical thinking, as well as building and maintaining professional relationships. We go to the VPE, the Vice President Education, and I call that role the engine. It is so key to the success of any club. Any meeting requires a Vice President Education. This Vice President Education role should not be looked down on. It is that role that ensures that every single member is right on track with their education goals. Whether they want to complete in 2 months or in 6 months, the Vice President Education is there to track their progress and encourage them to take on roles as well as deliver speeches and hit their targets. Here you get to understand more critical thinking, long-term thinking, organization, as well as mentoring and coaching the members of your club. Vice President membership is a mini club growth officer. It's actually the club growth officer, because as the club membership person, you are required to convert guests into Toastmasters and effectively communicate to them the benefit, sell to them the idea, and let them see what they are benefiting as a member rather than as a mere guest. The Vice President Public Relations, that's quite the mouthful, is there to bring out the club, let the club be seen. So the social media, the press releases, they are basically the evangelists of Toastmasters, but of their particular club. Here, as a Vice President Public Relations, you get to develop your marketing, your promotional strategies. How best can you deliver in the media critical thinking and problem solving, as well as effective collaboration? I am about to wind up, but here are a few roles. The secretary, the club's trusted organizer. You are in charge of keeping the records and updating them. Attention to detail is one key aspect of the secretary role. When we go to the treasurer, that is the person who manages the money. But not everyone can manage money. If you want to become more organized, better at bookkeeping, budget tracking, and oversight, this is the role for you, because you are entrusted with the financial records and you may be required to submit reports right after. The Sergeant at Arms is the moderator of the meeting. They may not necessarily be out there like the Vice President Public Relations, but they are supposed, their role ensures that everyone who comes to a meeting, whether it is virtual or in person, can effectively use that space. They make sure that everything is well set up, the speakers are comfortable, every technicality is dealt with as it ought to be. Here you become a person who can plan logistically, effectively solve problems when they arise, because life is dynamic and situations may arise. You also take care of the record keeping and inventory management. But for a club like Zumaridi, which is virtual, that may not necessarily be the case. So they are required to ensure that the people, when they are logged in, are able to test their microphones and have a good ambience, a feel of the meeting room. Now, since you have joined Toastmasters, this is your journey to becoming an effective leader and communicator. But you cannot do it just seated back. You need to start doing and quit talking. like Walt Disney said, you want to become more effective as a communicator, perhaps you want to refine your emotional intelligence, take up a speech evaluation role, take up the general evaluation role, or these other roles that require you to deliver a report. Notice that when you deliver a report, it is supposed to ensure that while the message lands, the environment is not tampered with. We are here to enable people to speak and become effective leaders, but the environment should be conducive for that. No shaming, but encouragement. We need each other. So no role is bigger than the other. Everyone works in tandem. And just like Henry Ford, well-known industrialist, said, coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. Having said that, thank you so much for listening to me. But I would like to hear from you, since our speaker said, make sure that communication is actually received. Are there any questions that you have or submissions that you would like to make while we still have some time? In 3, 2, 1. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Blessed, for that very, very informative session on the meeting, on the roles in Toastmasters. That was very comprehensive and so clear. I think all our Toastmasters, even the new ones, have understood what each role takes. And like you said at the onset, leadership is action, not position. And again, like you said, we need each other and we are here for each other. We coach each other, we mentor each other, and we create a conducive environment for growth. There's no shaming, there's no what do I say? There's no shaming. And that is why we have this final session of the meeting. This session is on reports and evaluations. Evaluations are one of the greatest gifts that we give each other as Toastmasters because they encourage growth and continuous development. And to take us through this session, we have the general evaluator, and I can see Ako, he's very, very ready. And Mr. Ben Kimani, I can see you are a member of Business Dialogues Toastmasters Club. And it's so good to have people from other clubs joining us at Zumaridi just to show how we support each other as Toastmasters. Take us through the evaluation section.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. My role as the General Evaluator has been to observe what has been happening during the meeting and what has not happened during the meeting. Why do we have a General Evaluator's role? As well exemplified and elaborated by the third speaker. We have the General Evaluator role to identify excellent elements in our meeting that we can continue to uphold. Secondly, we have the General Evaluator's role so that we can identify areas of improvement that can boost the quality of our meetings. It is a great honor and pleasure to be leading these evaluation section. As we say in Toastmasters, feedback is indeed the breakfast for champions. I will invite evaluators of the speakers so that the speakers can get their breakfast. I will start by inviting Anne Nachimera, DTM, who was evaluating Toastmaster Rose Odundo to give an evaluation of her speech. Anna Chimera, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. I am sorry I can't switch on my video because my location is very loud. Rose, thank you so much for that speech. As a mental health practitioner, my heart was overjoyed listening to your project and the plans you have for that project. Some of the things I enjoyed and loved in your speech was right at the beginning when you asked us to use our emoji hands for engagement. I love that because that helped you control the time of the speech. Given the fact that you had the whole project to tell us, if you asked us to unmute and tell you our stories, the meeting would have gotten out of your control. So I love that. I thought it was brilliant because it meant we still engage with you without taking away from your prepared speech. I appreciated the fact that your slides were clear, they were classy, and they were detailed just enough for us to know about the project. As I listened to you speak, one of the things that I found very brilliant was you tying the idea of your project to a question. Doing that meant that you answered one of the key questions as you undertake the DTM project is, what question are you answering with your project? So that's great. I loved that. Some things I would like you to challenge yourself to do as you move forward with just generally speaking, and even this project. When we have online meetings, I would advise you to practice sharing your slides before the speech. You are doing so well, and then after that you asked us, can you see the slides? And I felt it took away from the power of what you were sharing. So practice the slides before. I was able to see you practice the video and audio before, but not the slides. So just to look out for that. This, I'm thinking the accountant may say, but let me say it all the same because I found it came in the way of your speech. And look out for the use of the word and. Most of your transitions had and. When you are speaking about a date, for example, you say this Friday, my advice would be for you to share the date. So that you say this Friday, okay, I'm here trying to remember, 31st July, so that if someone wants to plug in, it's imprinted on their mind. I love the fact that you had a call to action. There's just a little change I would advise you to have with a call to action is to make it as clear and simple to follow through as possible. For example, you told us to build my haven. And the question for me was, does that mean we partner with you financially? Do we come for the event? Do we become ambassadors? It's just to pinpoint it so that it's easy for the audience to action immediately. All in all, I enjoyed the speech. I look forward to seeing the outcomes of this project, and I can't wait to celebrate your DTM award. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Anna Chimera. That was indeed a hefty breakfast. If you're in East Africa like me, that was definitely dinner for Toastmaster Rose Odundo. I will now invite Evaluator Davis Anunda, who was evaluating Toastmaster Biyub Ayub.
Thank you, G.E. Kimani. Biyub Ayub, done is better than perfect. From the outset, your topic gave us a glimpse of what we were to expect from your speech, which is motivation. Your speech was well structured with an intro, introduction, body, and conclusion. You started with a question asking, how many have been waiting? Which engage the audience from the beginning of your speech. You gave us something to think about. You even challenged us by telling us, we think that planning more avoids failure. That gave me personally something to think about. You proceeded to your body and gave us an example, a very practical story of Kodak, who had a product that was done, although not perfect, but they were waiting for that perfect moment to launch it. And instead, Canon launched theirs and they ended up edging Kodak out of business. This was a very good indication that done is better than waiting for something perfect. You even went ahead to mention 3 things that can motivate us to launch or to do instead of waiting for the perfect moment. You told us to accept that the first or when you begin, things could look ugly, but let us start anyway. You told us to set timelines. You told us to embrace pain. As we know, no pain, no gain. You concluded your speech and challenged us to remember of the one thing that we've all been waiting for that makes us not do what we want to do. You concluded your speech very strongly by giving us a statement: stop dreaming, stop preparing, for it is time for the amazing outset. Biub, what areas do you think we should challenge yourself? I noticed that you had an intentional body movement. You gave us gestures which were not enhancing your speech. So you should be very observant of that. You asked us a question, but you did not give us a few seconds to respond to your question, to raise our hands, or even type in the chat boxes. Your camera was a little bit low, so I would recommend that if you're doing an online speech, get some books to raise it a little bit. Overall, well done speech, well-structured speech. You achieved your purpose of motivating us. In your next speech, I'll be hoping you'll incorporate the use of gestures, place your camera well, and give the audience time to speak when you ask a question. Otherwise, I would recommend you proceed to the next project. Thank you. Back to you, G.
Thank you. Thank you, Devi Sanunda, for that very well elaborated feedback. Next evaluator to serve breakfast in the evening is Shakila Athman, who was evaluating Toastmaster Jessica Mbithe.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ben. I will be evaluating Toastmaster Jessica. Jessica, your speech was engaging. It was very relatable and thought-provoking from the beginning to the end. I loved how humorous you were throughout your speech. I particularly enjoyed your closing statement rather. The greatest illusion is believing that communication has taken place. It caught my attention and set the stage for a very meaningful message. One of your greatest strengths was your use of vivid examples and imagery. You used statements such as, even in the title of your speech, spreadsheets don't speak, but they scream in silence. And your comparison of communication to making ugali made very complex ideas easy to understand and memorable. Your description of being stuck in Nairobi traffic jam also created a strong mental picture that the audience could easily relate to. Maybe some of us might not because we don't live in Nairobi, but we got the idea. You demonstrated very excellent facial expressions that reinforced your message, and I appreciated your deliberate attempt at vocal variation to emphasize key points. Your grammar was clear and polished, allowing your message to flow naturally. Humorous lines such as, no matter something about the government cannot fall in love with you. I loved the tonal variation at that moment. And you mentioned there are lies, dumb lies, and statistics. That added personality and kept the audience engaged. But to make your speech even stronger, I encourage you to vary your pace just a little bit more. There were moments where slowing down after a powerful statement would have allowed the audience time to reflect before moving to the next idea. Something else is that when you are doing your speech in a Zoom meeting, perhaps ensure you have risen and not sat down so that you can use your body language properly. You could also incorporate slightly longer pauses after key quotes to increase the impact and give the audience an opportunity to absorb your message. Overall, this was a very well structured speech, very engaging and memorable, that effectively combined humor, relatable examples, and strong delivery. Thank you for reminding us that effective communication is not just about speaking. It is about ensuring that our message is truly understood. You can move on to your next project. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Ben.
Thank you so much, Evaluator Shakila Athman, for that well-delivered evaluation. I will invite us to vote for the better evaluator. I will invite the SAA to give us the polls. Our first evaluator was distinguished Toastmaster Anna Chimera. Second evaluator was Davis Anunda. Our third evaluator was Shakila Athman. Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer, for reminding me that it is indeed morning somewhere. That means that our breakfast has been served. Thank you so much. All right, so if the votes have been cast and the voice of the electorate has been heard, I will now invite the roll takers for their reports. I will start with our counter, the person who has been monitoring our arms and hours, who is Mukera Onyengo, to give her reports.
Thank you, Mr. GE, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I was honored to be your counter, which is the second time that I'm taking the role. I'm relatively new. I'm just a month old as a Toastmasters member. Tonight, I paid close attention to our verbal habits of how we utilize pauses. Overall, today's meeting, we did a fantastic job. Though a few favorite crutch words snuck into the conversation. Here's the breakdown for today's meeting. Our Madam TMOD had several so, and, where I lost counts along the way. Fast forward to our speaker, TM Rose Odundo, as here being told by her evaluator, the TM Anne Maria. TM Rose Odundo had 10 ands and 1 R. Her evaluator, the TM Anne Maria, had 2 ands and 1 so. Secondly, to our second speaker, TM Biyub Ayub, she did quite well. She just had 2 ands. Her evaluator, TM Davis Anunda, had 1 and. Then our third speaker, TM Jessica. There's a point she said, I tried twice. Then she had one so. Her evaluator, TM Shakila. There's a point she said, and two ands. Then fast forward to our tip session mistress, TM Blessed. She had around four ands, about 1, 2, 3, about 5 ands and 3 so's. 3 so's. And maybe I'd like to congratulate every one of us who challenged themselves tonight. And for a challenge, we should remember that a silent pause is always more powerful than a filler word. Back to you, Madam, Mr. General Evaluator. Apologies.
Thank you so much, Okera Onyengo, for that elaborate report. From the outset, our grammarian has been tracking our use of the word of the day and also looking out for those interesting English phrases. I will now invite our grammarian Eugene Wanjohi to give us his report. Eugene Wanjohi, if you're speaking, are on mute.
Yes, thank you, General Evaluator. So I'll be brief in my report. First and foremost, the speakers have used good phrases and have quoted authors and famous people. They have used it as a tool to be able to enhance their speech content. A good example is our third speaker, Jessica, who quoted an author of a book and also several quotes by Albert Einstein. On to the word of the day. The word of the day outset has been used moderately, with the most frequent user being Biyub Ayub, who has used it 5 times. Anne has used it once. Rose Odundo has used it once. The TMOD has used it 4 times. Dennis Anuda once. Jessica once. And our GE 3 times. As I conclude, so as to better use the word of the day more oftenly and most effectively, we are encouraged to do a further research, personal research of the word of the day, so as we are better equipped to use it and use it more often when we get into a Toastmasters meeting. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Eugene Wanjohi. I will now invite Brian Kamugisha, who has been noting our use of time, to give his report. Brian, the virtual stage.
Yes, thank you, General Evaluator. Right on the onset of my Toastmasters journey, I begin my key role today as a timer. And these are how we went on with time. Our first speaker, Ross, used 8 minutes and 30 seconds, meaning he used extra 1 minute and 30 seconds. The second speaker, Bayo Ayubu, used 6 and 34 seconds, meaning he has been on time, he has really kept time, and he left with 26 seconds unused. Our third speaker, Jessica, used 5 minutes and 35 seconds. She was also on time. And our last prepared speech that was done by Brissett used 13 minutes and 38 seconds. And she was also in time because she's supposed to use between 10 to 15 minutes. Evaluators, the first one, and used 3 minutes and 45 seconds, meaning she used an extra seconds, 45. Davis, our second evaluator, used 3 minutes and 47 seconds, meaning he also used extra 47 seconds. Shakila, the last evaluator, used 3 minutes and 24 seconds, implying an extra 24 seconds used. Our encounter used 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It was good in time. Our grammarian used 1 minute and 50 seconds. Also in time. Thank you, our general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Tag Team, for that very interesting session. I will now give my report, my general evaluator's report. I have 7 minutes. I will request the timer to cue me at 5, 6, and 7 minutes to make sure that I am on time. Good evening once again, Toastmasters and guests. I am privileged to provide the report of what has been happening during the meeting. I will start with the aspect of timeliness. It is very commendable that we started on time. We started at exactly 6:30 p.m. when the presiding officer called the meeting to order. That was commendable. It is an excellent element of this meeting. Are we still on time? I believe we are still on time because I should be delivering the report at 8:17 p.m. It is 8:08 p.m. This is actually one of the best managed meetings I have attended. We're actually doing well with time. Allow me to give comments on the meeting setup. The meeting agenda was shared on time. It helped the role takers to understand how the meeting will be run and the flow of events and the speeches, which was very good. I also love the fact that the presiding officer introduced the club Zumaridi, its history, and Toastmasters at large. That was very important, especially for our guests and the new Toastmasters. I loved the fact that the word of the day, outset, was shared on the chat at the outset of the meeting. It is good for virtual meetings, it is good to have the word of the day on the chat so that the evaluators, the speakers, the role takers can review the word of the day as frequently as they would like and familiarize with it. The presiding officer welcomed guests and other and visiting Toastmasters from other clubs, which was very good. It creates the camaraderie that should characterize Toastmasters meetings. However, on the meeting setup and flow, I have 3 things to point out as areas of improvement suggested, of course. Number 1, at the outset, our Toastmaster of the day experienced some network and device interruptions, which are quite normal. But to reduce such instances, it is important to join early in the meeting and test to make sure that your devices and network are working. If they need to be switched, you can switch before the meeting. Another element that I noticed is that the Toastmaster of the day forgot to introduce the general evaluator as one of the role takers at the beginning of the meeting. I thought that that is how Zumaridi does the meetings until I went to the agenda and actually found that I should have been introduced at the beginning of the meeting. Another area of improvement that Zumaridi could consider is that I noticed that most of the evaluators went beyond time. That has been confirmed by the timer, who was Brian Kamugisha. It is important to be able to package your information within the timeline that you're given. It is a good thing that we have a timer in Toastmasters so that we can plan our information especially when we see yellow, so that you have just a few seconds. And when you see red, you know that it's time to land your plane. The meeting helpers did an incredible job. The Toastmaster of the day was very informative and insightful on the topic, the first step, which is very important considering that this might be the inaugural meeting for some Toastmasters. We all took the first step, and that's why we are here. To all those who are taking the first step, welcome on board. The speakers were also very well prepared, as well as their role takers. Sorry. I loved the fact that the evaluators used the sandwich method. In Toastmasters, we try to balance positive and constructive feedback because we're not trying to be judgmental. We are trying to encourage each other to grow. I loved how the feedback was balanced in encouraging our speakers to continue speaking, to continue improving, but also giving them the tools to work with as they improve. That was incredible. I also love the fact that the feedback was relevant to the level of the speakers. We had a DTM level speech, and of course, we had regular speeches. I loved the fact that the evaluation matched the level of the speakers. As I prepare to land my plane on my report today, every Toastmasters meeting has 3 objectives. The first is to educate, and we have been educated on the theme of the first step by our Toastmaster of the day. The second theme is to elevate, and truly, everyone who has stood up, everyone who has spoken has elevated their speaking and their communication skills. The third objective is to entertain. The speeches have been very entertaining. Overall, this was a good meeting. I loved the meeting setup. I loved how informative it was. Thank you for such a wonderful meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Mbithe.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for that very, very, very comprehensive report on how we have done in our meeting. And as we say in Toastmasters, we take that feedback and we shall improve. So the next meeting will be much better than this meeting. As we conclude, let us return to our theme, the first step. Remember that greatness does not begin with mastery. It begins with willingness. Every speech delivered today, every evaluation shared, every role performed, and every member who will be installed represents another step along a remarkable journey. To our newest members, today is your starting line. Continue taking one step at a time. Accept speaking opportunities, volunteer for meeting roles, embrace evaluations, and learn from every experience. Before long, you'll be looking back and realize that the first step you took today has led you further than you ever imagined. Every speaker today has touched on the principles of Toastmasters. Rose on my Haven community project has spoken about has shown us that leadership is action. Biyub has said done is better than waiting for perfection, while Jessica has said communication must never be assumed. It must be confirmed to have taken place. And our tip session mistress, Blessed, has concluded by saying we need each other. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles is never completed by standing still. It is completed by taking that very necessary next step, and then the next, and the next, and the rest will be history. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your Toastmaster of the day. And I conclude my duties as the Toastmaster of the day and return the control of the meeting to the presiding officer for the rest of the Toastmasters meeting. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. Round of applause to our TMD. The transition was smoothless. The theme was well covered. I am sure all of you had so much fun, as much as I did. I can see in the house we have powerhouses. We have immediate past area division director, Brian Otiende. If you're with us, if you'd like to kindly share a word or two.
Good evening, Zumaridi Toastmasters members and our distinguished guests. It's been a while since I visited Zumaridi. It's such a pleasure being in your midst once again and listening to the inspiring speeches and also connecting with Toastmasters. I continue to encourage you to keep going, keep developing yourself, keep learning, and keep excelling. Best wishes to you for the evening.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for those kind words. We also have a long-term Zumaridi Toastmaster member, Toastmaster Wanja. Wanja is still in the house.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. It has indeed been a fairly informative session, and I've enjoyed it from start to the end. I'm happy to be back. Thank you.
Good, and we are humbled to have you back. I'm sure many new members of Zumaridi will be mentored by you, and they'll gain a lot along the way. We also have our division director, Gladwell Meet in the house. Division director, who could kindly unmute and share a word or two.
Good evening to you all, fellow Toastmasters, members of Zumaridi, and guests in the room. It's been a pleasure to be with you this evening. I have purposed this season to try as much as I can to visit majority of the clubs in the division, if not all. It's been a great meeting. I've enjoyed myself, and I hope to see more members of Zumaridi completing their projects. I want to encourage all of us, none of our members should be left behind. As the club achieves their DCP goals, let us strive as members, each and every one of us, to achieve our why we joined Toastmasters. Let us tick those projects as well. Let's learn one thing or two, and also remember to support our club officers in this journey. Thank you so much for having us Presiding Officer Evans, and I hope to see all of you very soon physically somewhere. Thank you so much to all members of other clubs who have joined this meeting to support Zumaridi. I encourage us to continue supporting each other and taking up roles in each of our clubs. Thank you so much, and back to you.
Thank you, Division Director, for those wise words. And we promise to deliver several triple crowns from Zumaridi Toastmasters Club this Toastmaster year. I'll be going to awarding several participants this evening. I'll start with the best evaluator. Just a moment. What you can see on the screen. Best evaluator award goes to Anne Nachimera. Kindly a round of applause to DTM Anne Nachimera. That was an amazing feedback. Next award goes to our best speaker of the evening, none other than Zumaridi Toastmaster member and secretary, Toastmaster Jessica Ngiti. A round of applause to Toastmaster Jessica for that amazing speech. It was humorous. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. We'll be sharing also the digital certificates in our meeting planning group, so be on the lookout. I would like to hand over the session to IPAD, Immediate Past Area Director Rosa Dundo, to carry out the induction of our Zumaridi Toastmaster members, new members. IPAD Rosa Dundo. I see your iPad is stated that she's in another meeting. I'd like to request Division Director Gladwell if you will kindly do us the honors.
But do you mind sharing with me the list of the incoming club officers?
Officer, okay.
In the meantime, the club officers that are currently in office, who have been in office from last year, July to June, maybe you can all switch on your cameras as we appreciate you. The current agenda, even if I may confirm, does it have the current or the outgoing?
A point of correction, Division Director. It is induction of new members, not new EXCO members, new EXCO officers. It is the new members.
All right. You want us to induct the new members?
Yes, the new members. Let me share with you the script.
On the list of the members.
Okay. Meanwhile, could we kindly hear a word or two from our guests this evening and our visiting Toastmasters? Wangari Kimani, are you in the house?
Hi, yes, I'm in the house. It's my first time and I've come across this meeting link on some WhatsApp status and just wanted to hear from you and what you were doing. And before now meeting this link, my friend had recommended me to join Toastmasters. So I was actually so happy to randomly find a link.
We're glad that you made the time to join us. There's a form that has been shared in the chat, if you could kindly fill it. And then we'll get back to you immediately after the meeting so that we can start this beautiful journey, just as the theme suggested. We start these first steps. The Toastmasters journey is a wonderful one, and we would like to walk it with you every single step of the way. Toastmaster Brian, I believe this is the first time that you're joining us. How did you find the meeting?
Actually, taking the first step is where potential transforms into momentum. And this being my first meeting with you people, I really enjoyed, and I really liked the speakers, and I've really learned a lot, and I hope to continue visiting more on online. So I'm just waiting for the next link when it will be. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope that this is not the last time that we'll be seeing you in one of our meetings. And you did carry out your role with so much grace. Thank you for that. Division Director, are you able to see the list that I've shared?
Yes, I have. Are we all in the room? Biyub, Ayub, Naomi, Caroline, and Natasha? We can just raise our hands if we can't switch on our cameras. I can see Biyub. Natasha, yes. Caroline and Naomi. Caroline, I have seen you. Naomi, you can stay with the hand raised up, eh? So, fellow Toastmasters, it is now my duty and privilege to induct Naomi, Caroline, Biyub, and Natasha as new members into Zumaridi Toastmasters Club. This is an important occasion both for these new members and for the club. These individuals have come to Toastmasters seeking to improve their communication and leadership skills, and we now have an opportunity to help them learn, grow, and achieve their goals. Dear new members, you are joining a worldwide organization that has helped millions of people learn to communicate more effectively. As members of the Zumaridi Toastmasters Club, you will benefit from a proven program of self-development. You will become part of an outstanding group of people who are dedicated to helping one another in a spirit of sharing and enjoyment. Now, I would like to ask the Vice President, Education. Are you in the room? The Vice President, Education of Zumaridi?
He's on transit.
Yes, I'm in the...
Now, have these new members been given an opportunity to discuss their needs and goals with the club?
Yes, they have.
Have they been told how the Toastmasters program works and informed of the many benefits they will receive, as well as the obligations of membership?
Yes, they have.
Who has been assigned as their mentors? Have you assigned mentors for them?
Yes, we are in the process of allocating mentors currently.
All right, so ensure that you allocate mentors for them. So, and for the mentors that will be allocated for these members, kindly note as experienced Toastmasters, if you are in the room, you have been asked to help these new members get off to a good start. Therefore, if the VPE requests you, kindly accept joyously. Accept these responsibilities and please pledge to share your knowledge and experience with our new members so that they can immediately begin to benefit from their Toastmasters journey. Now, to you, our new members, membership in this club and in Toastmasters International is a privilege that carries with it many rewards, yet it also places certain obligations upon you. We are a group of people brought together to do things we could not accomplish alone. Our collective obligation is to grow and improve ourselves and to share our knowledge and experience with fellow members in a spirit of enjoyment. This means you must work diligently towards your own self-development, evaluate other speeches in a spirit of support and sharing, assist the club in reaching its goals, and remain positive. We ask you, our new members, to dedicate yourselves to personal growth, to share this great gift with your fellow members, and to help keep this Toastmasters Club strong and dynamic. So I'll now ask these new members to kindly unmute. And to affirm your membership, kindly repeat these words after me. Have we unmuted? Let me hear a yes.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
Fantastic. Natasha, please unmute. So say I and then mention your name.
I, Karajuguna.
I, Gango.
Fantastic. In the presence of my fellow members of the Zumaridi Toastmasters Club,
The presence of my
fellow
members
members
of the Zumaridi Toastmasters Club,
make this firm obligation
make this obligation
to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment,
to attend meetings regularly and prepare for each assignment,
to apply myself to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
to apply myself
The
projects
assigned in the Toastmasters program,
to participate actively in club activities,
participate actively in club activities,
to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner,
to evaluate others in a
positive manner,
manner,
to build open, friendly relationships with my fellow members,
to build open and friendly with my fellow members,
and to bring other new members into the club,
and to bring other new members
into the club,
so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
Fantastic. Now, do we have members of Zumaridi in the room? Please raise your hands. New members, you can put your hands down. I see Eric, Wanjohi, Nancy, Evans Odima. All right, say this after me. Kindly unmute. We, the members of Zumaridi Toastmasters Club,
We, the members of Zumaridi Toastmasters Club,
pledge to support you
pledge to support you
in your quest for self-development,
in your quest for self-development,
to provide you with positive
to provide you with
positive,
helpful evaluations,
helpful
evaluations,
evaluations,
to maintain a friendly,
to maintain a friendly,
supportive atmosphere,
supportive atmosphere,
to give you opportunities to help others,
to give you opportunities to help others,
and to make your Toastmasters membership
and to make your
Toastmasters membership
a rewarding and fulfilling experience.
a rewarding and a fulfilling experience.
Fantastic. We can now give a loud of applause for the members, new members, and the members of Zumaridi and share some emojis to celebrate them. I hope the club has certificates for them for being new members. You can share the certificates with them, and congratulations to you new members for choosing to join Toastmasters. This is where leaders are made, and you made the right choice. Back to you, Presiding Officer Evans Odima.
Thank you for that well carried out induction. Our division director, it was last minute, but as we say in Toastmasters, we do things impromptu, and Toastmasters, we wear so many hats. Thank you for that. And new members, welcome again. We will be giving you certificates of membership to Zumaridi Toastmasters. And the VPE, Vice President Education, Eric Vanjoy, will also be assigning you mentors as you start this beautiful journey. New member, Toastmaster Bayub is already on the roll. She's already done 2 speeches. She's not taking any breaks, and that is the spirit that we need in Toastmasters. So congratulations, Toastmasters Ayub. Everybody, thank you for joining us this evening. To our guests, we sincerely hope that you enjoyed your time. Thank you for making the time to be with us. We will be having our next meeting on the second Monday of August. That is on 10th August from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. here virtually on Zoom. With that said, I'll be requesting Zumaridi Toastmasters members to remain behind for 5 minutes or so, just to carry out some club business as we end the meeting. iPad Rosa, see you back.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry, I wasn't able to speak with the other gadget.
No problem.
Congratulations to the new members, and thank you so much, Division Director. That was awesome. Can I also allow me to say thank you to my former boss, IDD, immediate past District Director. Thank you so much for gracing us, and thank you so much for Wanja and for Mbithe. Wow, and the team, you're awesome, and thank you to the guests who have come. Back to you.
Good night, good people.
Good night.
Good night, thank
Unmute
you.
as you say a word or two before you leave.